like myself. I knew I done got old, but I met your daughter. You got a very beautiful daughter and a handsome son-in-law.
Just a little question right there.
Right. But I got 6 grandkids, and I'm a single woman now. And I would love to see you very soon. I went down to see Mama. She's doing fine. How good she looks. And she looks good, absolutely. We sit up there and smoke cigarettes, you know, and talk. We just talking so much, we just smoking and talking.
Oh, but you try to look at the camera now.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the camera. So now, I'm down for a week's vacation in St. Louis, and someday I hope to be moving back here.
Did you come by yourself?
Yes, I did. I come by myself.
You drove up?
I came on the bus, honey. And I would like to see you. Y'all should have a family reunion so everybody can get together and see each other.
All your kids grown?
All my kids are grown now. And I got 6 grandkids and 6 kids. 3 girls and 3 boys.
Well, I think, why don't you give us your address in St. Louis?
Oh, my address in St. Louis is 5018 Minerva. My phone number is 367-1423.
Maybe you should like to call me.
Huh?
Maybe she would like to call you.
Maybe she would like to call me.
Maybe you would like to call me.
Yeah, I mean. It's nice. All red.
Like photographer around here.
Turn around now. Be still. Be still, okay? Wait.
Look right, it won't be no problem, won't it?
Your commands, huh?
Oh, boy, that looks good.
Alex look good dance on his side. I got on tape. Yeah, when he get finished with his haircut.
Too much off the top. Don't do too much off the top. I got the big one. Put the top. Okay.
I'm not romance.
You look kind of okay. Look at that show your hair. That looks kind of cute.
Which way you wear his top going?
I usually wear it to the side, but it don't matter. I can wear it back and front. I just comb it to the side. That's the only way I can.
Look at that big comb that you had.
Boy, see that comb over there?
No, Chad.
You getting me, fella?
I thought you followed it on.
Send it back to Coogie.
You don't see it, Shantae? She be over there somewhere.
Oh, that girl got a bag nugget over here on the shirt. Go get that nugget.
You got the love.
Okay?
Let me hurt that head.
Okay?
You just had one.
No, she can't even get a chance.
You ain't hurt, you just pinned her head.
Yeah.
Better have come out there and once the flippers hit it. That's what hurts, ain't it?
No, it don't hurt.
It's a nap.
Yeah, it's been easy than that, maybe. Before it was Sunday.
Hold your head. Hold your head. Hold it. Hold up. That's it. Ain't no cutting on it. What you think?
I put a small size.
You want to try it small? It doesn't matter.
No, so let him do that and see how that looks, and then go to the other. See how you like that. Wait till he complete it. And then if you want some more, you take some more.
Come to us in eighth grade.
Let us all sing.
That's how the fake car right there.
I know what, honey. You man ain't gonna do that, huh? Romeo, you better cut that out. If you don't bring home, but get out. No, I said I was asking the same question again. So that's been since how long has it been that other church now? That's what I wanted to find out. How many preachers have you had?
This one what we got now. And it's a version before this. But this one what we got right now. It's been out there for us for 29 years. Joe is the head of the club. And he
story of our game, and it was Morton Anderson with a 39.
Is about 5 preachers before him. So after he was out here, like 10 or 12 years for us, we made him popular. We gave 5 and we gave 5. Yeah, he is our prominent pastor. Now he quit if he wants to, but which I don't think he's not, unless you know disability or something other, he might have to quit. But he'll be our pastor. That was before we were trying to get rid of that. So this pastor, Reverend Wilson, so when we had pastor election, we elected Reverend Johnson, and Reverend Wilson was living in Columbus. He had churches over there, then he went back to his church in Columbus. But get what I'm saying? You see now, the reason I know it wasn't in the city, called service. Then your mama, when we got to in the time, he went to your mama in his house. Right. And I just and when something about me that radio died, Solomon wasn't thinking about finishing house. Oh, you had not, you could not because he finished in 62. But that was the whole 50 behind that 62. Now am I right?
Yeah, you're right, but I don't know that. But I just remember about the radio. I remember both radios around the same time when she was in her room. I was not the age. I was
well, she wasn't in praise down here. Well, I was in the
I just shot around some of your house already on the inside.
You been outside?
I've been outside. Shot it outside.
Oh, you ain't been in the whole house?
No. So, I'm waiting for you to take me out there. No?
There's somebody there. I see the car leave there a while ago.
okay. Randy, tell me your name, and you are. Tell me your full name and what
Well,
you
look here, I ain't on the right couches.
I'm just shooting your face.
Oh, you ain't got to get the couch up there.
You want to go
I shot around the house already. I got you in there while you was talking to Michelle.
Well, you don't need nothing else, nigga. All right. What I didn't say was, you already got my name and thing, ain't you?
Yeah, we know who you are. But you know, there's some things you don't know. Like your maiden name and
your mother's name, your father's name. How many sisters and brothers you had? I want to know about the brothers.
Honey, I have to reach back to I'm young and they
You know
but you know their name.
You know one because you told me. You told me you had brothers that left.
Well, how can you remember when I was there?
I wrote it down, but I just don't have it with me.
Well, you get them when you go home, because I got 2 brothers I ain't never seen.
I know you said they left.
They left, but when I was one before I was on, and one right after I was on. And I can't, but I can remember the ones that was Riley Hill. But the mother, my mama was named Sally Bell Needle. That was my mama's name. And my dad was named John Thomas Needle.
He had the same last name?
Wait
a minute. Yeah, well, no, but I was wondering, I was thinking, well, like her maiden name was, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, you want her maiden name?
You know her maiden name?
Yeah, my mama's maiden name was a West Street.
Westbrook?
Her maiden name. She supposed to be married my Lily Park. Her name was
Tackle and gets a first down beyond the 30-yard line.
Julia
Stopped by
Allen.
Michael Walter and Jeff Fuller, a gain of 13. And right now,
Now let me see. Now her name Mag.
checking once again with Brent
Sister.
Brent.
Oh, her and Mac was sisters.
My mama named Mag.
Oh, yeah. You've never seen that man Jackson romance.
Well, not saying.
You laugh?
Winston Moss.
No, she living at Chicago with y'all. Her grandson played with the Houston Astros.
Really?
Football. Warren Moon.
Warren Moon is
And that's her grandson. My Mag's grandson.
Yeah.
So what, we got Boots' nephew?
That's Bruce's nephew, Bruce's sister's child. Early.
Earling's kid, really?
That's right.
Warren Moon. That dude, that's the quarterback.
On
There's only two black quarterbacks.
on the Houston Oilers.
Oh, is it?
Oilers. That's it.
That's a reason they had him in the end.
He had just come from, he had been in the county
Right.
and played. He had got back. I watched him on plane out there in Houston when I was out there in Albany. Now he lived out in Houston.
Yeah. He married to him.
That's right. He lived out there. But now, when he was going to college out there, he didn't come out there. He finished high school in Chicago. And he come out there and stayed where I stay at when I go to Carolina. He lived with her to go to college. But after he got through in college, then he left there and went to Canada for some reason. I don't know.
No, he played football up there.
Well, I didn't know.
Professionally.
But now here's what was happening when I was out there. Now he was playing for the Oilers. He was undecided. He was playing for the Oilers. And the Chiefs was kind of getting him. I think said the Kansas City Chiefs was trying to get him. The Chiefs was going to give him more money than the Oilers would. But he was undecided. He had decided which one he was going to go to. And so I don't know whether he's still with the Oilers.
He still with.
Well, that's all right then.
He started playing today.
He didn't.
Yeah, I forgot about and ain't Snoop, she called her Snoop, who was she?
Now, Ain't Snoop was Aunt Mag's husband.
Oh, the sister.
Aunt Snoop's sister was married to Aunt Mag's son.
Oh.
So that's why they was all living in the house together.
Ain't Snoop's sister?
Yeah.
Married to Aunt Mag's husband?
Miss Lottie.
Married to Aunt Mag's husband? Yeah.
Aunt Snoop's sister
Uh-huh.
was married to my Uncle Hugh, which was Aunt Mag's husband after Aunt Miss Lottie was dead. You see?
Oh, okay, she died first.
Oh, Miss Lottie been dead.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what kind of arrangement was that?
See what he's doing now.
I am, okay.
Her children didn't even know their mom. And after Miss Lottie died, Aunt Mag was living across in front of Miss Lottie where the trail mountain. And she part the whole raised Uncle Newt's children up. And after they all got grown up and married and left, then Aunt Mag and Uncle Newt got their house over there.
Everyone and the Steeler keep
And,
where's my head?
but it's rented out.
Hard to beat at home. First and 10 at the 31. They sure are.
I didn't know nothing about it. Just Michelle. See, Michelle don't know nothing about football. So she don't know Warren Moon.
Well,
But you know Bootsy, don't you, man?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Bootsy's sisters.
No, sorry.
Son. Bootsy got a sister with a bunch of kids. Really got a lot
Yeah,
of
she
kids.
sure will not.
So she had a kid that got burned up some years ago.
That's all the story. Her name is Madeline.
Oh, that woman there, I don't remember. I went to a funeral.
I know you wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah, I went to a funeral. I know.
But that was her first child.
Tuesday is a celebration of
Madeline,
heroes and
but we all call her
heroines
Diane.
CBS and host Willie
Oh,
Maude
was she born? Did she grow up down here? She still grew up in Chicago.
All the children born in Chicago, 81 of them.
In my career as a
They
player
did,
and throughout my life, I've always strived to reach to
So
be the
after
best
she,
I could be. And that's what these young people are doing
I
here
don't know
today. As part of the United Way's Second Century Initiative. Okay, gang? Let's
But
have
he's
some fun.
more of a Mexican son.
Oh, smooth.
I don't see why. He wasn't real young. He looked kind of brownish like, but he wasn't white. But him and her come here together without one time. It happened at one time.
They can pass the ball.
And that was
who will follow. Well, Vincent,
Matt.
we
Diane.
here today we've learned to reach a little bit higher.
But after
United Way.
her and Moon, see, Moon left us to done time in Chicago.
This message
And
is
she
furnished
married
for the
again.
National Football League.
No, he didn't. She had just about every child. So she ain't had no children. This last husband.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored
And,
by Miller Brewing Company,
what,
sole
last-
sponsor of the
no,
U.S.
I just
Olympic
want-
Training Center.
Toyota,
setting the standard for quality
after her and
value.
Moon separated,
And by Magnavox,
Moon went back to wherever he come from, and that left her up there with all of the children.
Smart.
So Boots and her for to raise the children. Until she married this last man. Man, what you got now? And he was really good to it still is. Because they own a flat over there that he had when they got married. That's where they come and got their married carried her to. Now, and Maggie wanted to stay with Bootsy, but Bootsy's bedroom was upstairs. But we know he Maggie couldn't walk her to that. So that's how come. He wanted to with us when she didn't have to worry about going up and downstairs. The bed, she could go down on the first floor.
They did a good job that time in Montana.
3rd and 7 at the 34.
His name was Jim. Well, after he died, that now Emma was the oldest child of all.
Oh, Emma was the
Wait,
oldest?
no. Yeah, Emma was. Buck was the oldest child of all, and Emma was next.
Okay. And Buck?
Buck is the one that I didn't know. Now Buck is the one that is Patsy's grandmama's dad.
Right.
Dad. That's how Patsy come related to Mama. Now her grandmama was named after my brother. My brother was named Maude, but we called him Buck. And she named, when she had Patsy's grandmama, she named her Mose after her dad.
Yeah. When they had Buck left, did he leave West Point or he just had died before you?
If he did now, I don't know. And he had a baby by Mose, and then he, after Mose was born, before Mose was born, he left West Point and in her hotel.
Okay, now this is Patsy.
That's why I say, I don't know whether he's dead or alive. This is dad's mama.
Okay, Mosetta is Patsy's. So Patsy's grandmother was Mosetta.
Mosetta.
From her
That's
father's
Patsy's
side.
grandmother. That's his Christian name now.
Okay.
So that make me Patsy's, me and Robert Lee, that's Patsy's dad. Great aunt.
Okay, so all that was done before you was up in his size then. He left while you were.
Yes, all of that stuff went on when I was a child. All that stuff happened to me. And, cause when I got to be in my teens, I didn't even know they existed. But now I know Mosetta stayed here up until these recent years, cause she died in Chicago with a heart attack. Cause she was living with Robert Lee in Chicago, which is Patsy's dad. Now when Robert Lee and Ruby married, both of them living here in West Point.
Okay, so that's your oldest one. Then who was the next brother? The next one's ain't Emma.
It's one before Buck.
Okay.
Henry was before Buck. But from Emma on up is the only ones that I know. Now I know Emma because she had been 10 years died. But now Henry, and I didn't find out till here the reason is that he was living in Memphis.
In Memphis? That close?
That close, and I ain't know, but ain't nobody know where he was.
Now how did you find that out? Who told you that?
When he got ready to die, his wife wrote to me.
And what a recent years you talking about? Like the 70s or 60s?
It was the long in the 50s because I was pregnant with Ella.
And that's why you didn't go. I could have told you that.
Yeah, I was pregnant with Ella. When she called, Rosie told me that he was just as low as he could be. And I was so big I couldn't go up there.
That's
But
51.
Huh?
That was around 51.
Was?
If that you was pregnant with Alan, that's when Alan was born in December.
Well, that's right. Ellie's born in November. But you see, I wasn't thinking that because Barab told me after then that when me and him was on our way to Emma's funeral, you know, Barab come to Emma's funeral to Chicago with me, him and Lamont. And he said, well, how come you didn't tell me when you learned that he was so sick? I don't know. And I told him, I said, well, honey, and which is when I couldn't tell him where to go, who to call, or when she called me, she just said his wife. She didn't give me her name or nothing. And I didn't know who. Even if I had a went there, I wouldn't know who to call, no address or nothing. But how I kept up with that much of it, this lady would live in the house, on the other side of the house where Billy lived in. That was the big lady that you know.
Okay, this is before.
But this was before the big lady got there. Well, this old lady's brother lived in there. And he's the one that keep me up to date on the him. But you never could see him. He just know he's in there. So, but now to tell me, I don't know. Say he got 6 or 7 children in there. Well, honey, I wouldn't know how to ask for now what the needed folks say. On the contents, I didn't know nothing of that.
So who was the next one?
And after then, the next oldest one was Jim. I called him a bit.
Yeah.
When I come down from Henry, Buck, Emma, Jim, but Rob was the last over that Roosteller's day. That was the last over this brother. Because now Jerry, Fred, Ardell, all of them was younger than Barack.
That's the one you said was your mother? That's the one you said was your mother because he taught you? What were you telling me about him being like your mother because he taught you so much?
That's Barack, Bruce Stanley.
Well, I know, I want you to tell me that. He was like what?
Who? Barack. He was my mama and my dad. He was, when my mama died.
That's you for. So,
right there. Huh?
Just a
few little blocks down the road, a few little steps down the road. That's the house. It must have been for her. I told you it must have been real.
So you never had to go far here, huh? You never had to go far from home, huh?
Oh, after I got married, see, I've been married twice. After I married the first time, I moved up town. I lived up there 5 years.
What's uptown considered as, just in that area, like where the Walmart and all this?
Look, honey, no, that come that way since town got there. Town is over in there where Ferdinand's Cafe and all the places is up in there.
Oh, down there?
No, it's, you know, do you know where the First National Bank is there in West Point?
I know what bank is. I don't know if it's...
There's so many banks that I couldn't know. How many y'all buying 7? My brother took over. Everything at that house, he learned me how to do. He was doing that. He learned me how to make a handmade biscuit, but from scratch, they call it now. He learned me how to make a bed. He learned me how to even hang clothes correct on the clothesline. All of that stuff. My brother did it. And I told him about it too up there in the house that day after his funeral. You know, one of his sons was a doctor in a Tupelo. That's James. He's a doctor in
That's Rob Ann's husband.
No. Rob Ann's brother.
Rob Ann's brother, right.
Rob Ann's brother one is a lieutenant out in California. That's Drew Stella's dad. He lived out in California. Well, Erie Jean, she finished doctorate college over here, college here in Georgia, somewhere down in there. And she got her doctorate degree, and she is teaching or doing something at Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi. That's where she was at, unless she ain't still. Well, Rob Ann was a dean at Mississippi State College over here in Stockton. But now, They took her out from, she was a librarian over there at State College. So now she is out and she's a dean of one of the high schools there in Stark. But now all of them was that brother's children would learn me how to cook from scratch. Now that was the oldest brother that I called now. Jim was the oldest before Jim. Yeah, I know Jim died way since I've been young. I was about 18 or 19 when Jim died. He got a son up there in Chicago. You ever heard him talk about Jim and Russell?
Yeah, Russell was his son. Bald-headed Russell.
Yeah, his son.
Oh, okay. Romeo never saw him alive, but you took me to his body. Remember?
Well, that was my brother's children.
Oh, okay.
Now his brother's still up there, Jimmy, the white one, the yellow one with the freckles on his face.
Oh, I remember him.
Well, now that's my brother's that was his baby. Jimmy, he named after his dad. Well, now he's still in Chicago. Russell's age.
Yeah, right.
But now Jimmy's still. Now Jim was my oldest brother. After Buck lived. Well, after he died, Jim, then that's for Rob, the oldest brother. And then next was Jerry. That's the one you see sitting out on that porch with his granddaddy was Dave. That's Jerry. And come on down, next street. And then the next was me, and then the street. That's all that.
Do you remember any of his birthday?
Huh?
Remember any of his birthday?
Now, I know I was born in 12. But Fred was born in 16, I think. 1916. But now, up above Fred's, I don't know what year they was born. The Bible down there at the house.
Right, where's
When all of us was born and how old we was, what year we was born in. Well, when the house burned up, that burned up the Bible.
So y'all had a house to burn down too?
But our house was burned.
I mean, I don't know. I know Daddy's house, his family house burned down with all this stuff. I never knew you all had a house that burned down.
GMAC makes financing or leasing the new GM car or truck dreams easy. Just see your general.
This house burned down since I've been living right up here.
Oh, you talking about where
Rena.
Rena used to live? You grew up in that house? You used to live in that house?
I was born there.
Oh, I didn't know that was the house that Aunt Rena and all of them lived in. I didn't know that was the house.
I was born there.
Oh,
And when that house burned, that Bible was in that house. Well, I'll tell you now, I was born there. When that Bible was in that house, it got burned up when that house burned. And right after that house burned, Rena and Fred and them, they had another house built. So Fred got to cutting up and staying drunk so much at Rena, and the children left and went to Chicago.
Okay, so the house that I know then was the second house, was not the first house.
That was the second house, the one you know.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
That was the second house, the one you know. But yet still, it got burned down. Because when Rena and them left here, you see, them houses was in my brother's charge. Lamonia's husband, he was over there with when Rena and them got ready to go, which is when my daddy died in that house, they turned all their affairs over to my brother Ade. And when they turned all their affairs over to my brother, well, after he died, Lamonia still got it and see about the taxes paying. And Marina and them sent money to her to put the taxes on. But that place down there, can't nobody buy it, can't nobody sell it. Oh, that place come on down to my great-great-grandchildren. It's ours property. Can't nobody be in
But I
there.
mean, is it divided amongst everybody? Did all the brothers and kids get it? Or?
It ain't divided, but man, can't nobody divide. Cause by the time the chess set of the Westbrooks and Needles and things get out, well, the undergrowth will come along and go down to them. And just keep on going down as far as any land says to go. Can't nobody sell it, and can't nobody buy it. Can't nobody not sign, and can't nobody sign.
Is that a written down thing or what?
That's up there in the courthouse in West Point. That's the way the old folks had it fixed back then.
Oh, that's the way they had it fixed.
That's the way, that was my great-grandmama and their property.
So he made sure that it.
They made sure that some of the heirs would be there to get it.
Always have that.
Always had that land. That land will be forever there, and can't nobody get rid of it. Now that was back there, I say better, about a year after I was born, when all of this was done. I was born in 1912. And Brandon, we called her Brandon. Her husband's name Hal. Brandon and Brandon was my great-grandmother. And my grandmama was Aunt Julie, well, Grandma Julie, which is a married mama. And my mama's mama.
Okay.
But now, Lucinda Westbrook, that was my great-grandmother. Her and my grandmother Julie and them, they the one had all this property fixed like that. Well, that was before I was born. And from that's the way they, just as long as it says Al Westbrook, Anita, or anything, anybody know that legal.
How much is it?
It was about 4 acres of it, but here's what happened. This is deal on the north to her. This place where Bilbo living now, you know, Bilbo lived right side of there. My Aunt Emma's son slipped in here with a false pretense of like a deed, and he sells this property to Bilbo. But Bilbo don't know this yet. I wouldn't even want to bring it up to him. That place where Bilbo is now, all of them heirs of Aunt Grandma Cindy, that's her children's property, that where Bilbo is. And it goes all the way down. Johnny, Arch, Molly, Millie.
She'd have problems if she ever tried to sell it to somebody else.
Well, that's why, of course, I don't believe she'll ever try to sell it. But if she did, but now, you take a thing like this, you have to push up at it. Cause now you take it right to Rena, like I told Rena. My sister had to call down from Chicago, from East Chicago to this courthouse up here in town, and had the record searched to see how far down that heirs list on this property where Gene may see right now. Gene will tell you, Rena will tell you right now that property belongs to Gene. See, Fred drunk the property up. The Gene, but he drunk up the old Jacob, he charged him $1,000. And Gene paid this man his $1,000. See, this old Dago, that's what my sister called him. This old Dago is finna put up a road house there where the house is. And when it come out in the newspaper what this Dago is finna do, I sent it to my sister, Emma. Emma called the courthouse and had the record searched. And when this old Dago found out that it was our property, that's when he rooted back from building the roadhouse, wanted his money. So Gene paid the $1,000 to him of what her dad had. My sister told me too. My sister said she's going out there in Chicago, in Washington, and when she'd be visiting him and out of there, that she'd be bragging about the $1,000 that she paid for this property. See, I paid that $1,000, so that's my property. And Emma told her, said, no, baby, say you paid that $1,000 Because your daddy broke up the property.
Right? You don't own no property.
Say you don't own a thing down there. Say you just paid off his bill. Say that property belongs to every Nita and every Al and every Westbrook in the world.
In the future.
And honey, when it come out in that newspaper, Lord have mercy, some names of them Westbrooks and things I had never heard in my life.
You didn't keep it?
I saw it to them.
Oh.
When I took him to come out, I saw it. She was over for Robbie. So I saw it to her. She called that co-pilot, had that record set, and
come here.
when that newspaper come out,
Alex, come
about
back.
all them different houses, that's when he said, there it goes. You know, everybody takes the newspaper line. When they see that in that newspaper, that man told her both hands that fast. Because he knew he can do a record search here, right there in the restaurant.
Get out that door, Alex.
To see how far out in the line them ass.
Come here. Come here.
So she found out and I did too. Can't nobody get it. That's what I told Walter, boy, when we moved out of the house, can't nobody make you move. And can't nobody tell you to stay there. And the truth, you can't. Because he wanted to need a
Foresight to see it. But all them grown boys, they would have took that money in a minute. Wouldn't have nothing to show for it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Children would have no place to
Wouldn't have no place to stay.
That's kind of unselfish too, you know. Like you don't see that no more.
They don't do things like that no more now,
They sell that land as soon as things get tight.
You
Sell that land just as quick.
Just, honey, they'd be glad to sell.
And the biggest thing is they feel like let my ancestors get their own stuff. I ain't giving them nothing.
That's
That's
what
the way they feel, man. Get your own stuff.
That's right.
Stop now.
They leave it nothing.
That some school this morning, there's some talking. When they're talking about Poe land there in the rich farm. Yeah, with Poet Joe, you know when all them started land? That's the mayor all the time now. I say he was Poet Joe's turkey, and he married which one? He married John Bryan's daughter. John Bryan is the captain and the president of Bryan Brother Package Company down there. And he's the millionaire. I went. He married her daughter. But you see, that's a question that we was talking about this morning. About picking first class, second class, and third class. Now you take it, this third class nigga, I don't want no part of it. Now first is all right, but that second and third class nigga, take them from me. Cause they are plain, y'all laughing, but it's the truth, they are plain, no good. I mean, no good. Lay out, drunk, everything. I was listening to Willie back there trying to cover up.
Yeah, girl. Mr. No Teeth back there, he was really messing up back there.
And did you hear him when he said, I used to drink as much as anybody?
And he said he still got friends who converted somebody.
And he's still drinking whenever he can get it. He didn't drink as bad as he did before he could get it. But now, he don't hardly ever work no way his wife worked at the hospital. She was. But thank God she done quit the hospital.
Well, Granny, what about, I was noticing today too from church how well you read, you read and pronounce words extremely well. And I was wondering, what is your educational background? Were you know, was it education real?
Well, thank you. Yes, I was a student. This is the same daddy brother I'm telling you about. I went to church to school, right? That's why I ain't married him. There was a Presbyterian church right there. And then they opened up a little school out here at Mary Home for 5th grade children. I went out there. Well, when I got to be 14 years old, my brother, the one when I told you was a mama brother, he paid for me to go to MI.
Mississippi?
In the MI right up there.
Mississippi Institute?
Minister Student College. That's what he paid. I went right there. He paid for it. At that time, you had to buy your own books. He bought my books, everything, okay? When I went in there, I was in the 6th grade when I went into school. And I stayed in there until I was in the 11th grade. But I didn't stay the 11th grade book. I made it to the 11th grade, and that's when I dropped out. Because I tell you why. See, I didn't have a mama, nothing. I wasn't able to go to school and try to keep high.
Right, right.
And
so you was in charge of your family?
The whole family. I was
your father and all that?
Yeah, And that was why I had to drop out. This woman up here, Gift told her, this woman living in my house up there, he said, I don't know what kind of woman Miss Ervin was. That's Gertrude's husband now. You know Gertrude was that church thing. Said, but that woman can read and pronounce words I ain't never heard tell her. But at this, now I'm going to show you a point now, and I want you to understand what I mean. At the time when I was going to school, now I'm telling you what I know from what I'm seeing here now. I know more when I was in the 8th or the 9th grade than the children do now was finishing school.
I believe it.
That's the reason I know that I had more sense of that low grade than they got in the ninth grade. Because what I'm
you know how old my dad is? 65 years old. He learned it every bit 60 years ago. And I can't remember what I learned 5 years ago in school.
You see the difference, don't you?
It's the difference. He can still recite things in predicate verbs and predicate nouns.
Honey, I can do the same thing right now. I can recite the multiplication table backward and forward.
That's the way he is. So
but
it's
on the
different.
content, and when you take them backwards, it's divide. And all of that. I can't remember all of them like I used to. But when I was in my prime, I could recite them with the multiplication table from 1 to 100. A whole lot of time. But you don't on a word that you don't understand for now, you call out here that. And I can just about tell you.
Granddad. I'm talking about, yeah, your husband. Well, what about your first husband?
Now, my first husband died in 39. That was my first.
How long were you all together? Did you court him as a kid?
No,
you were young?
We all live around in this neck of the woods in the same neighborhood. But he come over to Starving, my first husband. Well, the folks he had, they was all over there.
What's his name?
Collins, one.
Is he? No, it was your grandfather that Mama said had real nice hair. Had was real nice. Well, she's always talking about what a nice man. Her grandfather was a nice man. Was that your
That
father?
was my dad.
Okay, okay. So anyway, getting back to your husband, he's from Starksville, and you courted him as a young girl. Is that your
no. He had moved to West Point. He got a job on the highway. See, what don't you think is 45 highway is the thing? He got a job over in West Point, but he's living over in the Stars. And he was working at the time, I don't know what y'all heard tell us, was a thing called the WPA. We didn't know about it. Yeah, we didn't know about it, but y'all was too young. That's what had him working in and out over here. But at that time, it wasn't no such a thing. 45 wasn't even thought of. They were just beginning to break around for 45.
Put it down now.
And he lived with somebody. He had him a room window here in town with somebody who was working for the WPA. And that's how I met him. Well, I had known him because when your mom. Let me see now.
Mom was born in 35. I don't know.
But I'm trying to get to that now. But you see, that's what's all for your mama. Your mama was born in 33. Your Leslie was born in 33, and your mama was born in 35. And I married Collins. No, I married Collins. Sister was about 3 years old. And me and him got married. Well, I said there was me and him was just tight in 35. That was his sister. And then, well, after sister born, sister was about 3 years old. And then I lawfully married him in 39.
So was he a real nice man? I mean, was he a lot like Granddad?
No, because he was drinking or smoking nothing. No, he was a different person altogether. That's when he died, I see.
So you're not in contact with him?
No, I never know none of his people.
How long did you all stay married? He died? He just had a heart attack or something?
He had a heart attack and died.
And how old was he when he died?
Now, I told you I never know that he wasn't born over there.
Okay.
I don't know how. I could only guess at his age.
That's what I was thinking.
But I couldn't guess because it's just like Rose Hale. Rose Hale don't know how old she is. But that's what it was, my husband. He didn't know how old he was. But he'd always try to guess and tell me when he was born by some train running on the rail and all of that.
Oh, yeah. I love it, Greg.
But you know what I mean.
I love it.
That man's
train was running.
Yeah, the train was running on the rail and so-and-so was hauling logs and all that. Well, I just never did learn nothing from that.
But did you know how old Mama was? Was Mama? I never really asked Mama about it. Was she old enough to really know him when he died? She was still real young, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, he died in 39.
Yeah, she might remember.
So you all wasn't even married a year.
Sister wasn't staying with me.
Oh, she stayed with your father.
My dad had a paying rent to keep my 2 children.
Did you work or something?
And I worked every day. I worked from Sunday to Sunday again for $2.75 a week.
The whole week, Grant?
The whole week. Do you hear me?
Oh my goodness.
The whole week, $2.75. But at that time, $2.75 would get you a 10 home.
I know. It's better than nothing, too. Most people don't realize.
And my husband was crazy about my children. He, I don't care what happened. Me and him were going to have to go get them children groceries every Saturday night.
Yeah. And you just had to, ain't less than Mama. I know she said Mama always bragged about
you. Did you know? They did. What you say? But they didn't know how to come out. They don't know how to come out. It was right across that railroad in that White House.
This house over here? Right by Brian Brothers or whatever
that barn is right there.
Really? Because I was looking for the house. I thought they tore it down. I was asking the man about it last.
Well, that's where I was working.
You worked there?
I worked there. And I worked for clothes. I didn't get no money.
And that's where she got the dresses.
That's right, but she don't know the thing. I worked for clothes from that white mom. She had a dog. And she was a rich one.
Does the family still stay in the house?
No, they can't. Yeah. You know why people are not black folks was.
What kind of house? Is it a real nice house? Is it a mansion?
When the white folks in there was real nice when I was working.
That's what I was wondering. I just wondered what kind of, it was considered a wealthy property.
It was a wealthy property, but that's when white people left and on down the years, niggas got in it.
That is so interesting.
But they know today, honey. I killed my gal.
Well, she told me, she told her Aunt Leslie was clean. She said that's why she think Aunt Leslie had a hard time kind of adjusting, once she got married again, her having to wear, not having money to buy different stuff. And she said you spoiled and rotten when it was only two.
Yes, it was, but she didn't realize I had more.
Right, exactly.
To look after them.
Right.
Now I could easily take care of them too.
Right, exactly.
Because I was making enough. I thought, now I wasn't living there. I was living back then. Right there where that house was at. When I was working for they closed. Well, the folks had a grocery store too, right in the yard of the house.
Oh,
wow. I get my groceries, they closed. And they not know. We want something.
Okay, so you
come downtown to get groceries to send out to our children. My children's name was Rena and my dad. We'll come to town. At that time, the grocery stores would be open on Sunday morning. And we'd get groceries to send our children. Okay. This particular Saturday, he come in a hurry, and I thought it's something he was in such a hurry. My husband, he said, "Are you ready?" Most of them, when he get off on Saturday, I'd be ready. I said, "No, not quite." He said, "Well, hurry up." I said, "What's the rush?" That's what I said. He said, "I don't know, sir. I'm just in a hurry. I want to get out and get them something to eat and come back home." And so he heard and rushed on, so I didn't do. I just know. I said, "Well, I don't." And get the food and send it out there, and then come back home. So we sat about as far from the houses from here down to the church, or maybe up there where Rita went to be. And he said, he called me Bert. He said, "Bert?" I said, "Huh?" He said, "I feel so bad." I don't know why. I said, "I feel so bad." I said, "Well," I tell you what you do. Well, we lived in town. And I had lights on me all the way from town to the grocery store. So I said, I'll be under the lights, and all my friends and neighbors and things all along the line where the lights were. I said, I'll go down and get the groceries, go to children's camp, put a man from him out. At that time, folks that live in groceries to the house, you didn't have to bring them to go back and get them. You just get them at the store and they take them to the house. For you. So I went on down there. I said, "You go back home and lay down." I come on down to the store and got the groceries. Had fixed some children. The man came to children next home to Sunday. Next morning to Sunday. And when I was coming on back home, the woman's cousin lived right down the road here right now. He caught up with me. Him and my husband was working for the same place. And he was on his way down there to see my husband. And so he said, "Ma said, I walk on my own way." But I don't know what it was. Somebody behind us called him and told him something. So he left me, but I was just about at home then. He said, "Ma said, there's something to come up." And so I'll be seeing you. They called my husband, they had a nickname for him. But anyway, tell him, I see him Monday morning when they go back to work. And so when I got in the house, just to turn up in the yard, we were living in my apartment. The house was long from the other building. And every couple had their own room, and all. That's what my children would stay up there. Because at that time, folks didn't do nothing with their children up there.
And it was wild.
And it was wild, and I was working. So that's how I let my children stay down here with Rena and my dad. So, just before I turned in to come to the yard, I said, "Well, I rang Colin, and I know I put that light out before I left there. Thus, I left the house. I cut out all the lights. But just as I was coming up in the yard, I see the light burning. I said, "Well, Colin made it in." I said, "You probably went to sleep when you cut the light."
There.
And, so, I went on in the house. I put my coat on, was in there, sprang the air, and still being cool every night. I put on my clothes off, went on in the house. And I didn't have a few rooms in the kitchen for my part of the house. I went into the bedroom, the 2 bedrooms on to the kitchen. I didn't see him nowhere. So I waited and I waited. Well, a couple of staff, me and his wife was big friends, Julie. Her sister lived right there in town now, just the same time. But the house belonged to Julie. Her husband died and left her the house. But me and her was big friends. I got so worried about Colin. Well, I could stand on the ground. She lived upstairs. So I could stand on the ground, and I said, Julie, her name was Julie. That's the house mother. I said, Julie. Well, they were sitting out on the porch up there with her husband. And she said, what you want, boss? I said, honey, I said, do you know, I'm beginning to get worried about calling. I said, he ain't in the house. And I said, I'm calling. I said, I was wondering when I got there. I said, y'all ain't seen him yet. She said, no, sir, we thought he went with you. So we ain't seen him no more. So, when I went on back, I saw her on the wall, I see her getting worried and worried. And so I called her husband, named Felix. I said, Felix? He said, huh? I said, you come down here and go with me to look for cops. See, there's two streets that led out from where we live. It's Christ Street and where I was living at was called Frog Bottom. Right. But the street that led out to North Division Street was Disney Street. So he said when he come down, he come right on down when I called him. He said, Mouse, I tell you what you do, say you go up Christ, and I go up Disney. Which the streets did like that, you know. They just divided like that. One went that way and one went that way. I said, okay, I guess we had got, I hadn't got nowhere good. He went up that way. And when he had got to be about, I said, it wasn't no more than about, from the way it was summed up, about 10 foot away from where me and him departed at. So he called me. He said, Maud, I said, what? I ain't got out of here. This one here and me. He said, yeah, he is. I said, come in. So I went on around. I turned around right then and went up that way he was. And when I got up there, my husband was laying in the ditch on his face. His hair had come off or nothing. I just guess he felt so bad that he had laid down right there. And that was where we found him dead. And that ditch right there.
Your kid laying on it so that he didn't fall down in there, then.
It wasn't no deep ditch. It was nothing but a little trench like that little ditch there.
And you found him yourself?
I didn't find him. Felix found him. See, I told you me and Felix split up.
Right.
I went up one street and Felix went up the other street.
Yeah, well, I mean, he took you there and showed you where it was.
He called me because I was halfway up my street. You see, we were going both ways, so whatever way he come, he was messed up. We could see him whatever way he come. That's the reason we split up. Because if he come down Cried, I'd see him, I'd meet him. And if he come down on Disney, he would meet him. So when he found him, he hadn't got nowhere from home. And when he called me and we got there, no, he didn't fall, but the way he was laying, he didn't fall in nothing. He took a thing got out the road, because he was in the street. And he was laying right side their street, right just up above a little ditch, with his hat and everything on it, like I left it, with everything he did. So we called the police, the coroner, and everybody that come to see about what's going to happen to you when you're dead. So when the doctor got there, the doctor come to the doctor, police, and the coroner.
Did they leave him in the ditch or did they bring him back home?
They left him in the ditch until all of them folk come there and test again. Make sure he was dead and to see what happened and why he was dead and all of that had to go through. Well, he laid there until all of that was finished. And then I called Carter. Carter, in fact, I didn't have to call him. He was there and he was the coroner.
That was Carter's father? The Carter that we have now?
And that was his brother.
Oh, okay.
Because now, that was his older brother, which was Jesse. Now, he over there in Columbus with a few home now. And little young Carter is here with a few. It's his family, because he was insured and everything. My husband, I had an insurance, burial, and everything. I ain't had to have no trouble at all. Because I always looked out for that.
Right, right. And see, that's smart too, because people back then give the impression they didn't have insight for insurance.
You know, that's what I was trying to tell that thing the other day. You know, it's a lot of things I be telling her, because she don't run here.
Right.
But to tell the ones that I said what different things was. My mama sleep, my house deeds and all that.
Right,
stuff. I said, then, when I'm there, I said, you don't have to do the care. She don't want to hear that.
Yeah, see, that's bad. She has to listen. Mama sat me down and made me listen. When they go on these trips and stuff, she showed me where the shoebox was, where all of the information was, and, you know, gave me the information that I need. And I mean, I have to know it.
But I say, won't even accept it.
No.
She don't want to even talk about me leaving nothing here.
I mean, I don't want her to go, but you got to take care of the business, you know.
Is something you want to tell us since we got this out here just in case?
Well, you'll be too long getting here. You better come on and stay down there.
Well, I'd say,
but now, I tell you what, but what I had planned on telling sister the way everything went. And where to, now Sonny, he knows where everything is. I told him I got it all in a special place. But the thing that I want to tell sister, you see, it's a separate deed for this place up here and that and down there. Don't know one deed separate these two places. Down yonder got their own deed.
Okay, now down yonder, that's air property, but this will be Sonny's property.
Right.
Okay, so that's why it's different.
So that was the part I was going to tell sister. Well, now, I may be wrong, but you never know. I don't believe I got to try to children be fighting over nothing.
No.
You understand what I mean? They'd give it up if they had to fight over it. And that was why I wasn't too concerned about them, you know. After I tell them what's what, then I depend on them not even afraid than a father about it.
Then again, things get different. When things happen, people can, you know,
act different.
But there's always got to be someone here to take care of street business, you know. It's few
well,
people
my
like
son
that.
is supposed to take care of this business up here.
Well, there's few people that's like that, though. That they
well, you see, sister and them part is down yonder. And I was going to put her to head over there down there to see after.
And that's the air property.
That's the air property down there. And this is the private property up here. And that she was the one I was going to put over there so Tom, Dick, and Harry wouldn't be arguing over nothing. In fact, Ben, I don't believe none of them live here no way. But there's several times I was done.
Oh, yeah. That's the way of the world.
Because she the kind of take charge, like, she don't, you know, she'll take care of business. And some people, you know, some people just ain't like that.
Well, you see, all of them
Put it in your mouth.
That sister always was their mom. All of my children. Mama ain't got to say nothing. Sister, just take over.
Yeah.
But son and sister is the only two children that seems like really know how to manage business.
Yeah. And you know they make you feel secure because they know what they doing. You know, it seems like they know what they doing.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know they know what
you
they
ain't
doing.
You ain't got a question because it just goes straight ahead, you know.
Well, Granny, when did you meet Granddaddy? The Granddaddy I know. How much longer
You know my
after?
Willie James? I met Willie James calling down in 59. I don't think about that with Willie James. I know Willie James.
Did you know him a long time? Was he nice? Did you think he was a nice man? What did you think of him when you met first?
Well, I tell you, the reason I married Willie James, and I hope I tell you understand. Okay? When I married Willie James, I was about 21. I had sister and Les.
Right, and they needed somebody to take care
And
of him.
I was saying I could take care of myself. I wanted to live a mother's life before.
Okay, and stop
And
working
at
so
my
hard.
at my age, I couldn't do it, young as I was, and live the right life before then. And I wasn't gonna be in and out with this man, that man, and another man. They can tell you right today they never know me, and that was the why I married Willie James. So I could live the life. I didn't love him.
You just wanted to be a mother to your children.
I wanted to be the right kind of mother to my children. If I'd been single at that age.
Right. Too much stuff would have been under the bridge.
Right. That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
true.
That's why on kind of my two girls that I married Willie James. Colin died and showed how close it was. Yeah, Colin died in 39. I married Willie James in 42. In 42, that's when I married Willie James. I said, well, if my children ever find out anything, which I don't intend to, they can't say I wasn't married.
Right.
I wanted to be the right, and right today, now I'm telling you, these young children are them, that they ever heard nothing about me and no man. Oh, that's why I married. I didn't want to put it down. He was just motherless.
So he was not, I mean, he did not sweep you off your feet. He
Nothing.
wasn't And he was in the service. Did he go into service right after you married him?
I was the one swept him off his feet, because I didn't want to marry him. But he was
The man is begging, huh?
Oh, he was begging and ran. Every time I turned the corner, I was working in town. He was there, pushing.
How did you meet him? Was it?
I told him.
You knew of him.
I knew of him through a cousin of mine who was working at Bryan Brothers.
All gone.
Now, when I met him, he was making about $7 a week working for Bryan Brothers. That they be playing now.
Did you go?
Well, I had a cousin working for Bryan Brothers too. That's how I met Willie James. And my husband died in 39, and I Willie James and bought it too. And right after me and Willie James, we got married. The Army called him. Well, no such thing as volunteers.
Yeah.
You was drafted. You had to go in when they say go in. But no such thing as no volunteering. When they called you, you had to go. Well, that's the kind of stuff my husband was doing. And they called him in 41. They called him in 41. Okay. In 41, he went in there and he stayed in the Army. They had when they had something like a furlough that you could come back home on and get all your business straightened out before you go back in for good.
Or they like your basic training, like, and then between going overseas and everything, they come back home.
No, you stay at the sea. At that time, they're driving from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. They would come back home. When they call them in, they go to Hattiesburg and get the physical and the test and all of that. And if they pass, then they let them come back home for 14 days to get all the business straightened up. And when he come back home after he got his physical and passed his examination and all of that stuff, he come back home. Well, I had known him then about a month or two. He come back home to get everything straightened out, and that's when he asked me to marry him.
Okay.
When he come back home. Okay. And I'm telling you now why I married him. And the minute he asked me, I said yes.
Here,
I accept. So, okay, when I accepted to marry him, before he went back, well, I was pregnant with something. Before he went back to the Army to stay for the time, 14 days was up, was when he had to go back in now when nobody know when to get out again.
Till the war is over.
No, not till it's over. He'd get a furlough or a weekend pass or something like that. But other than that, he couldn't come out no more until the war was over.
And that wasn't, that's 46, right?
Right now. So he went in this Army. And between him going in, he moved me down to my daddy with my sister-in-law and my dad. That's why I stayed with them.
Which sister-in-law did you stay with?
Irene.
Oh, okay.
Irene.
You stayed with them.
Yeah.
That's Fred's wife.
But Fred's mom?
Irene is Fred's wife, isn't it? Uncle Fred's wife? Ain't Rena?
Well, you see, she got a son named Fred too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We talking about a whole
I'm
different
talking
generation.
about, yeah, I'm talking about old man Fred. So, he moved me from town down there to live with his daddy until he get out of the army for good.
Okay.
He didn't want me to live in town, because see, the children was already down here. He said he's scared for me to stay up there about it, but just me and Taylor is jealous of what it is.
Right, I was going to say scared you going to get into something.
Yeah. So he moved me from up there down here to my dad. And when he moved me down here, a little before he moved me down here, me and him got married. He just come from Brian Brothers and slicking greases over. Because he's been cleaning chillin'. That's what he's doing down
Greasy
there.
is okra, Grant.
Greasy is over.
That's greasy.
When we were married, we didn't go to no church, because I went to him. He gave me the money, because he didn't get off in work. He gave me the money to go to the courthouse and pick up the license. I went up there to the courthouse of just a piece, and I got the marriage license. And me and him met. We sing at this church all the time, right now. We met at a house right that side of mine. The house still that side of mine on the church. And the man what lived there, he was a preacher. Reverend Glenn, that was his name. And I met him that night, this first night, by 6:30, 7 o'clock. And I met him when he got there. I was already there at this man's house. And we went in there, that man called his wife out there, and me and him got married. He, as I told you, this is greasing, nasty, slicking. I had on the cook folks' apron. The wife of what I cooking for, I had on the apron home. We tied the knot.
That's the longest knot you ever had.
Oh, boy. And we got married, and when I got married, he moved me down here with my dad and him. He was willing and ready to go back to the army, but he wasn't going nowhere till he got things straightened out for me. Now, he went in there to stay on the 14th, of May. And if I don't make no mistake, but anyway, when he went in to stay, as I told you, I was pregnant with son.
Right.
And when I see him again, son was born in 42. Son had been born down here with my dad. And after son was born, that's when he began looking out, getting lodgements for adopting sister, so that I could get money. Now I had already bought this house up here.
For how much?
Paying on it.
For how much?
$300 for the house at the Acre Lane. And I had just about finished paying for it before the allotment come through for sister and Les and son. And after, I had them just about got through paying for the house. Then the little money what the children was getting, I could keep it until he come out of the service, as I told you this morning. Because right now, when you come down to something like that, I really know how to manage.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I want to know something. Why is it that y'all get so many Willies in y'all's family?
Well, I
You
ain't
think
got,
you love that name?
well, you see, no, I ain't got as many Willies as my husband. Well, there's 3 Willie James in my family.
Yeah. Cause
But it ain't but just 2 in my family as I know of.
now,
But see, my mother,
Willie James.
that has nothing to do with her.
No, I know, but I'm saying his name is Willie James too.
But see, that ain't on my side.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just.
Well, now, here why sister come by her name, man. Now, they do grandmama named Les after her. And I had a real good friend that lived right up that way in Magnum left from, Willie Maude Ervin. And when sister was born, Willie Maude was dying. Me to name her after her. She wanted that baby named after her so bad. That's why I named sister Willie Maude. Well, after that, I married Willie James. All right, John? Well, I've been tending the business at the bank or something. The first thing they say, oh, you now every year I go to the FHA to hold keep my loan, because I don't pay about $6 a month for this house. But I have to go once a year so my interest won't go up. And when I go up, they be surprised. They'll know that me and my husband, even though he dead, was named Willie. They be surprised. Oh, we all know. I said, yes, sir. There'll be 2 different horses. I said, I'm the male and he's the female.
How did you come up with Leslie's name? Ain't Leslie?
I told you Baydu had another name.
All right, you did.
You know who Baydu is. See, Baydu.
That's her father's mother.
Baydu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baydu.
No, you eat this or that's all.
Baydu was named. Baydu.
No, you don't get no more. Wipe your hands.
Grandmama was named.
No more.
Leslie Eleanor. Now Baydu named after her. And Leslie. Now Baydu is named Leslie Lenora Boyd. Now. And Leslie's name was Leslie May. She named Leslie May after her.
No. You either take this or you don't get it.
So that's how come all these different stirred up names come out here. But back then, I don't know what they do it now in the house. They supposed to be ran to name each other. After them.
What's Sonny's real name? Sonny is.
That's my oldest boy.
What's his real? His other what's his legal name?
Sonny.
You talking about
Charlie.
Oh,
he named for his uncle and his dad. You know Charlie.